Dear candidates, I welcome you all on behalf of the Staff Selection Commission and wish you very best for your skill examination. I am here to dictate you a passage of 1000 words at speed of 100 words per minute. But before that, you will be given two trial passages of 1 minute each at interval of 20 seconds to get you acquainted with my voice. After completion of two trial passages, your actual passage will automatically start after 30 seconds without any further intimation or warning. These two trial passages need not be typed in your actual transcription. You can also cross them to avoid any sorts of confusion. 10 seconds to start. It is not correct to say that Pepsi Cola has no experience in food processing. About 60% of the Pepsi Cola's turnover is in food processing. Yesterday, most of the members said it is only a soft drink company. 60% of their total turnover is in the food processing venture. I think the concentrate of the orange is one of their big expertise. The Agro Center will function in close collaboration with the Indian Council of Agricultural Research and Punjab Agriculture University, Ludhiana. The Agro Research Center will supplement the activities of the ICAR, and the Punjab Agriculture University will also supplement its activities. It is because the linkages between town and country are so crucial to growth that many state governments have established bodies like the District Planning Board or the District Planning and Development Council to identify and strengthen these linkages. The tragedy is that in the name of coordination, district planning board have been established outside the framework of democratically elected local bodies and generally placed under the charge of a minister appointed by the state government. Thus, the most crucial planning functions and much of the effective decision making power, as also the allocation of the bulk of finances, has been vested in bodies which are outside the democratic framework of local government. A friend in need is a friend indeed is a famous proverb which tells us about the true friends in life. True friends are those who really helps us in our bad times of the life. They never left us alone. They motivate us and always support whenever we need them. True friends become very special in our life and remain with us. It is true friends who prove this proverb: a friend in need is a friend indeed. Good friends always support in our difficulties, for whom it is necessary to be from same field, same class or same caste. True friends always listen to you and correct the mistakes you do to bring at right path. True friendship is a most trusted and important relationship among all relationships in the life. Getting true friends is a blessing from God, and every one of us don't have such friends. True friendship becomes noble and great, but very rare. Having a good friend is a most precious earnings and most precious possessions of the life. Without having a true friend, our life is dry and dull. True friends give good and safe company to us and make our life happy, interesting, and worth living. Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, in regard to the finance bill, we have submitted detailed amendments, and hence I shall confine myself now to the general policy behind the finance bill. The detailed proposals we shall deal with when the amendments are taken up. Sir, in presenting the finance bill based on the budget, the finance minister has delinked the price rise of petroleum and fertilizer from the budget proposals. He has delinked the price rise to the extent of rupees 2700 crores. This petroleum and fertilizer price rise, coupled with the imports of rupees 204 crores in the railway budget and rupees 445 crores in the budget in a full year, which comes to a total of about rupees 3400 crores, have had a very strong effect on the prices. These budget proposals have increased the inflationary pressure in the country. It is clear that inflation this year will be a two-digit inflation. The national newspapers have predicted a 30% price rise. Some economists have said a price rise of 50 to 20% is inevitable. As the finance minister has delinked the petroleum and fertilizer price rise from the budget, he has also delinked the anti-inflationary proposals from the budget. The budget is the weakest so far as the price policy or the anti-inflation policy is concerned. We have very great and an almost unprecedented price rise. I think the government had already said that the prices of petroleum products have risen by 37%. The price of oil has risen by 25%. The prices of all other commodities have risen by 10.5%. This government on admission is that there is a steep rise in the prices all over the country. This is government's on admission. Madam, I would like to speak on several items dealing with the various aspects of the operational side of the Indian Railways. Firstly, we have to take into consideration that after partition, the Indian Railways had to bear a great strain. A lot of disturbances did happen in the very structure of the railways, and it was with great foresight that it could be made so well. The first thing that occurs to us is about the rolling stock. The rolling stock is very important because India used to import a large number of engines and so many other things which are associated with the operational side. It is very heartening to see that today most of these things are being produced in India. Recently, I had the privilege of visiting some of these factories, especially the Chittaranjan factory, and I saw that the recent manufacture of an electric engine was something indicative of the wonderful achievement. Steam engines and diesel engines are manufactured, the later ones in Varanasi. These have gone a long way in meeting the demands of the railways sufficiently. As far as many other things connected with the electric equipment are concerned, I find that they are also produced in a large number. At Bhopal, at the Heavy Electricals factory, which I had the privilege of visiting only the other day, and they have given a very good account of themselves. These things should augur well for future activities as far as the railways are concerned. Madam, about the amenities and so many other things concerning the second class passengers, the railways have done very well. A democratic government as it is has to look to the needs of the second class passengers who subscribe to the tune of 80% of the railways revenue.